Hi. Years ago, I was in love with Lucifer, and not the devil, the show Lucifer, made by Neil Gaiman. And I was so obsessed that I was convinced that whatever Neil Gaiman has created is fucking masterpiecing out there. So I came across a show called Good Omens. I loved it so freaking much, but nothing happened after I finished season 1 because it was dull. And then I had my heart ripped out from my chest after season 2, and I needed something to make me feel alive again and make me have hope in humanity and in life again. So I went to Pinterest. Pinterest never fucking disappoints. And I came across a show called Our Flag Means Death. And now, again, I'm in pieces. So thank you very much, Pinterest. Thank you so much for that. Gladly, I watched it right before I finished Good Omens Season 2, which was a few months ago. So I didn't have to wait that long for season 2 to come out, and it did come out, and I feel like I'm gonna die. Yeah. If you can't tell by the name of this channel and also the names and titles of my videos, I am very obsessed with queer content. And the first thing I realized was that, ooh, this show is actually gay, like actually gay. Okay, because so many queer contents out there are not queer content at all. They're just queer baiting. I'm looking at you, Sherlock. It takes you there and then it brings you back. It takes you there and then it brings you back. Just like shows like Merlin. Have you heard of that? Yeah. They show you characters that are clearly queer, that are clearly not straight, and then they tell you that they're straight because they can. So what this show did so well is that from the beginning it was like, these guys are into each other, okay? If you haven't figured that out, here's us clarifying. They're into each other and they're two men. Call it what you want, but they're gay. And I was like, yes, finally something that knows what they're doing and, has their shit together with the audience. And they're like, yeah, we know what the fuck we're doing. So I was really happy. Because even with Good Omens, season 1 was like, gay? No, I never heard of it. Ever. And then in season 2, they were like, okay, fine, they're gay. Like, but Our Flag Means Death is very straightforward. Mind you, the pawn. Oh my god, I feel like I'm too funny. But I'm. So the story follows this noble man who comes from a wealthy family called Stede Bonnet. And Stede Bonnet is very bored. And he has a wife that he doesn't love. Very quickly we realize because maybe he was into men. You'll never know. But yeah, he's fucking bored out of his fucking mind. And then he's like, I'm gonna be a pirate. And his wife is like, what the fuck did you say? I hate the ocean. And Stepan is like, fuck you then. I'm going on my own. Peace out. And then he goes out there. He builds a freaking ship. And he builds an entire library into the ship. Like he makes a library, like he takes books to the ocean, okay? And he starts being a pirate, and he has the best crew of all time. They're just all creeps, all weirdos, but we love them all. So, and in one of his kind of adventures, Stede Bonnet gets into trouble. And while he's freaking dying, someone comes and saves his ass. Who's that? That's Blackbeard. Yes, people. It's Blackbeard. And we love Blackbeard because he's played by Taika Waititi. No, that's not the reason. That's not the only reason. It's most of the. You know what? He's just very lovable, okay? And then in the very first seconds, we kind of realize that Blackbeards, why did I say Blackbeards? It's Blackbeard. Blackbeard has this kind of an obsession with Stede Bonnet. And we kind of realize that, ooh, he's bored too. And he's like, oh, damn. Show me how you do it, you know? Like, show me how you are so noble, but also, like, going to, like, little adventures, but still managing to stay very soft. And then they start a friendship. And that friendship is very fast made into a love story. I'm not going to tell you what it's about because this is a spoiler-free video about this. If you want a recap, please let me know. I will definitely have it for you. But I'm just going to tell you about why this show is worth watching if you're into queer content and if you like pirates, if you like Taika Waititi. I'm going to stop, okay? I'm going to stop. So, first of all, I have gone through a nice amount of interviews and everything about this show because I needed more and there was no more, so I just had to do it. And the first thing I realized was really interesting is that all the cast are so happy that this show is straightforwardly gay. Like, first of all, Taika Waititi, who plays one of the main characters, but also is an executive producer. It's very hard to say that word. And he also directs some episodes. There's a hair on me, wait. So he's big deal in the show. And he is very proud of the way they made the show because he was like, okay, first of all, it's not about two men being gay. And it's not about us exploring how that works and how, like, stuff happens when two men fall in love with each other. It's just two people who fall in love and they happen to be men. And every cast member was saying that, oh, we were so happy that, you know, this show knew what they were doing. We have a non-binary person in the cast members who is playing Jim, and also a gay person who's playing Lucius. And both of them were like, when we got this job, we thought that we were going to be the only queer person in this crew, and we were specifically cast because we were queer. But then they quickly realized that no, everyone is gay here. And I know sometimes people make judgments and kind of negative thoughts about Netflix showing literally everyone being queer and there's an extinction happening with straight people. And I get that, but Netflix is contemporary, okay? It's kind of literal fiction, but this is a pirate show about weird people who love each other but also are pirates. I don't know if you get my point, but I think in a fictional world, there's nothing wrong with everyone just being queer. Because you don't have to follow the rules of the real world. So it's totally fine if every man is into each other and every woman is into each other. And, you know, some people just don't have a gender. And that's totally fine. Something I noticed with Jim was that Vico, I don't remember their last name. I'm quoting them on this. And they were like, I really liked that Jim is just Jim, and I don't have to have like a whole monologue about them being non binary and just be like what it means to be non binary. I just had to be like, I just go by Jim, and that's it. And everyone was like, oh, okay, cool. And I hadn't realized that before I watched that interview, but then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, they didn't exactly like give us a whole speech or an explanation of why Jim doesn't have like a gender. They were just like, Jim is Jim. Con O'Neill said, I love this man, okay? He plays Izzy Hands, the kind of second hand to Blackbeard. And he plays a very shitty character in season one, tell you that. But he is just very charismatic and beautiful and lovely and all that. That you're gonna love Izzy without wanting to. So, but also, he said in an interview, one thing that he really loved is that this story isn't about, two men falling in love and then having to deal with the consequences of that. They don't have to deal with the barriers that come with, being gay and being queer, but they just fall in love, and the consequences are something else because they're pirates. And the barriers they have to face is not because they're both men, it's just because they're different people, their different personalities just change everything, and they kind of have to make their ways through that because Steed is kind of a soft, wealthy person who never does any violent things in his life. But then Blackbeard, who's also known as Edward, who we call Ed, is very violent and has never been, in money before. And they're just like two very different people. And it doesn't really go over the fact that, oh, they're men. No, it's just a love story and they have to figure out how to work it out. And it's very, very beautiful to me. But I also want to talk about the plot and the great writing. So all the characters are just beautifully written, and they're kind of characters that you haven't seen before because they're very weird. But the concept of found family is really cool in this show because at first, the whole crew are like, okay, our captain, who is Steve Bonnet, is very soft, is too soft to be a pirate, and we're bored, and we're just gonna have to like kill him and, name a new captain and go over with our lives to be real pirates. But then very quickly they kind of see themselves starting to care for him and then start to like get into this situation where like, oh, we're a family now, like where the hell did that come from? And that family kind of grows and grows, which is very beautiful because in the first season we see one enemy, they have to like overcome that, and then in the second season the family is still going strong even though they are going through some very serious shit, but they're like their bond is growing even more stronger because they're going through some shit, and man, I love that. But also the writing of the villain is very, very beautifully done because, okay, don't get me wrong, I said that I don't want to spoil anything, but I can tell you this much, that Izzy Hands is kind of the villain here. So hear me out. He's supposed to be at least the antagonist of the story, if not the villain. And you still kind of feel yourself feeling for him. It's not because he's hot. It's not only because he's hot. But it's also because of the layered personality he has. And he has kind of very childish but also raw and emotional reasons behind everything he does. He's not evil, he's just heartbroken. Which, yeah, leads him to sometimes be evil and be a stupid asshole. I get. But I still love him. And you will too. I guarantee that. If you still have a heart beating inside that chest, you will love Izzy Hands. And also, I really just love how everything is just ridiculous in this world, but also sometimes it gets very serious, which is like cool because everyone in this cast are comedians. But please, going over to this world, remember that you don't have to take everything so seriously because it's a fictional world ruled by comedians. And it's one of those stories that shows you very violent gore, but then also bombs a joke at you, like, at the same time. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? So, please remember that while you're watching this, because if you, like, overanalyze everything everyone's doing, you might ruin the experience. Like, there are some times that you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. And then bam, there's a joke. And you're like, nah. But that's something that I really love about this show, because it's like, oh, did you take everything seriously? No, 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 no. Come back here. We're here to make you laugh. I haven't really watched many of shows and movies in this genre, but I think it's really cool because it takes out the darkness and also kind of rips out your heart at some points, but overall you're gonna have a joyful experience. The stakes aren't very high. Everyone's going to make it at some point. It's kind of similar to Good Omens, where stakes are supposed to be high, but you know that, like, not so many bad things are going to happen. So if you just kind of want to get distracted and have a joyful time, but also follow a very beautiful love story, and not just between Blackbeard and Steve Bonnet. There are more love stories, which is ugh. But please give it a watch, because it's very much worth it. And again, if you need a full-on deep recap from the first season, so you can either remember season 1 to, like, go to season 2, or just don't feel like watching it and you just want to watch a recap or something. I don't know what's your reason. Please let me know. I will definitely give it to you. And that's it for today, kids. That's another gay show you can totally go watch because it's great. And I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye.